secured their release yesterday. They're Mark Swedan of Houston, Kai Lee, and John Leung. The swap follows extensive diplomacy. The State Department says Lee and Swedan were wrongfully detained. Leung is known to have spent time with Chinese officials and was serving a life sentence for spying charges. The U.S. also has eased its travel advisory for China. It's now at level 2. That suggests Americans exercise increased caution in the mainland. The Salvation Army of Victoria's main office was a busy place this Thanksgiving. It was the place for their annual Thanksgiving community dinner. The dinner started shortly after 11 a.m. The Salvation Army cooked 90 turkeys. They served a little over 350 people in the dining hall in just over 2 hours. Turkey and dressing, mashed potatoes, and green beans are on the menu. And don't forget the dessert. 25 News Now was well represented there. Mac Pettis was saying hi to the folks. And my wonderful wife, you see her there, Cecilia, and I were there to help and enjoy the great meal. There's Mac. And also, our Shauna Curry was part of the group in the Salvation Army warehouse. They teamed up with Waterwell Cafe to deliver meals. They delivered 360 meals on Thanksgiving Day.
This is a part of what I do that thrills me the most and touches me the most is when folks can come together and folks from all different demographics, different races, different beliefs come together at one time to not only fellowship together, eat together.
Kenny Jones reported they served a total over 700 people this Thanksgiving. We really enjoyed our time there. But wait, there's more. The Salvation Army of Victoria revs up its Red Kettle campaign. The bell ringers will be in Victoria at both Walmarts, Sam's Club, Hobby Lobby, and selected Walgreens locations Friday. Also, 10 downtown Victoria businesses will have counter kettles for donations. The week of December 9th, the Red Kettles will be at all 3 Victoria Chick-fil-A's. On December 9th, Chick-fil-A's Day of Care, Chick-fil-A will donate 20% of all purchases to the Salvation Army Red Kettle campaign. This is the 125th year for the Salvation Army Red Kettles. The campaign runs through Christmas Eve. Yesterday, Christ's Kitchen held a free flu shot clinic from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. with the support of the Victoria Fire Department. The fire department emphasized the importance of keeping your flu shots up to date.
Flu changes yearly, and so that's why it's very important, even though you may have gotten a flu shot last year, to update it with the new vaccine. Just like the COVID, everything is evolving, and it's very important.
At Christ's Kitchen, they were proud to serve a warm Thanksgiving meal, including fruits and produce to those in need. Local churches also came together to help prepare this special meal. Christ's Kitchen is open Monday through Saturday from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m., continuing to serve the community with love and care. Sean Diddy Combs will not be released from prison on bail as he awaits trial for sex trafficking and racketeering charges. A federal judge denied the 55-year-old rapper's 4th request for bail.
Is spending Thanksgiving behind bars after a judge denied bail for the music mogul. The judge saying it's too risky to release Combs, citing, among other things, this video obtained by CNN showing him attacking his then-girlfriend, Cassie Ventura, in a hotel hallway. The defense claims the video was doctored, but the judge ruled even the version submitted by Diddy's team shows undeniable violence. Combs is awaiting trial on dozens of federal crimes, including human trafficking. He's pleaded not guilty. His lawyers requested a $50 million bail, asking for Combs to be released on house arrest with 24/7 security in his New York apartment. But prosecutors pushing back, citing new evidence that former staff members have described the defendant threatening to kill them, throwing objects at them, and being struck, punched, and shoved by the defendant. Prosecutors also accuse Combs of witness tampering and trying to taint the jury pool through what they say is an orchestrated social media campaign. The judge yesterday sided with prosecutors, saying there's clear and convincing evidence that no condition or combination of conditions will reasonably assure the safety of the community. Also noting the seriousness of the danger that would be posed by Combs' release. Andrea Fujii, ABC News, New York.
Let's take a first look at your Thanksgiving weekend forecast. Here's First Warn Storm Team Chief Meteorologist Mac Pettis. Mac, I know you had a great time there at the Salvation Army Thanksgiving dinner. Great to see so many people there.
Sure, it was lots of fun. You know, the kids, I'm happy. They say, "You're the weather guy, right?" Yeah, you watch TV, all right, that's great. He watches the news, that's important. Well, we hope you have had a good Thanksgiving day so far. The cloudy weather has arrived, the cooler weather has arrived. The question is, when do we start picking up the rainfall? All that we'll be talking about coming up in just a few minutes. Back to you, Don.
Mike, thank you. Black and Hispanic high schoolers who have to drive more than 30 minutes to a community college are less likely to pursue a degree. That's from a recent report released by the Annenberg Institute at Brown University. To read this full Texas Tribune article, visit our website, crossroadstoday.com. With Thanksgiving now here, we are on the brink of the holiday shopping season. Though with all the TV commercials and alerts on our phones from retailers recently, it seems like the season is already underway.
The annual holiday shopping survey from the National Retail Federation shows that consumers are expected to spend just under $1 trillion this holiday season. That's an increase of between 2.5% and 3.5% over the last year.
This is in line with historic growth rates and shows that retail continues to grow at a steady pace as consumers spend on core areas of their lives as well as these important seasonal moments.
The average holiday shopper is expected to spend $902 this season. That's a new record for the National Retail Federation survey. Shoppers are planning to stick to the traditional categories when buying gifts this year.
The most popular gift categories this year remain things like gift cards, clothing and apparel, electronics, books, video games, and other media. And of course, for those with children or children in their lives, toys.
Thanksgiving is late in November this year, which will make a difference in how the holiday shopping season plays out.
This year, we are in a situation where we have about 6 or 7 fewer days between Thanksgiving Day and Christmas, which does impact how consumers might be shopping as well as how retailers are approaching the season. But what that means is we expect a lot of activity around Thanksgiving weekend, record shopping of about 183 million consumers at least.
More people are planning to buy their gifts online than in person this year, but millions will still go to department stores and discount outlets to look for that perfect gift.
Gifting is something consumers do like to do in person. They like to see items before buying them. And then, of course, there are moments like Black Friday, which is often an in-person event or tradition for many people.
Rena Roy, ABC News, New York.
Speaking of Black Friday, here's your viewer poll today. What's your Black Friday plan? Is it shop in store, shop online, or skip it altogether? We want to hear from you. Visit crossroadstoday.com/vote and we'll have the latest results at 6. You have more chances to watch the latest episode of Let's Grow Texas Ag. It will be on KAVU again on December 1st at 3:30 p.m., KVCT on December 1st at 5:30 p.m., and on KXTS November 30th at 11:30 a.m. We are also streaming on Zeem, Z-E-A-M, so be sure to tune in to Let's Grow Texas Ag. Remember to subscribe to our YouTube channel, Crossroads Today. Hit the like button and click the notification bell. Then you can see Crossroads Today on YouTube. And stay with us straight ahead on 25 News Now at 5, how experts are suggesting you keep your feast safe this Thanksgiving. Also ahead, a look at the international implications Thanksgiving brings.
Military Hero of the Month is Senior Airman Brian Knief. Born and raised in Victoria, Brian chose the Air Force as his next challenge after high school.
March of 1990, I went into basic training, and after basic training, I was my job was going to be a crash fire rescue. So I flew to Rantoul, Illinois, Chanute Air Force Base, to go through the firefighting school for the military, for the Air Force. You have to be careful of what arms are on the plane whenever it does crash, or if they do crash. They teach you that. The angles, you're using mostly a water and foam solution because usually you're fighting just the fuel that is burning. So
did you ever find yourself sitting there on the edge of the tarmac waiting for somebody to land and not knowing if they're going to make it?
Every day, pretty much every day.
Really?
Yes, sir.
After his tour of duty in Saudi Arabia, Brian says he came home and found his life's calling, the police force.
I had done a couple of ride-alongs with a real good friend of mine, and after the first one I was hooked, and I was like, I've got to do this. I should have done this 20 years ago, you know. And after graduating, the day that we were graduating, I was offered the job at the Victoria Police Department. So I've been there ever since and loved every minute.
One good way to get a smile on Brian's face is to talk about deer hunting. He found other ways to help veterans.
It's called Bucks for the Brave, where people sign these veterans and first responders, sign them up for this deer hunt that the Trinity Oaks puts on. The hunter I had, he was a retired Army helicopter pilot, and then after he got out of the Army, he became a firefighter. Why aren't you sitting where I'm at, you know? And I said, well, sir, I said, I just love to give back, you know. I said, that's what I love to do, and, you know, if I can pass my knowledge on to you, and, you know.
With 15 years on the police force, Brian Knief is a well-known figure around town, and his message is always safety.
You'll watch cars and, you know, they'll start swerving from one lane to the next, or, you know, you get people that just fall asleep at a red light, you know, or a lot of them are drive-throughs, Whataburger late at night.
I've seen that.
They just pass out in the drive-through, and, you know, Whataburger calls and says, hey, this guy's not, you know, waking up, and, you know, you get a lot of them like that, you know.
For his service in the Air Force and on the Victoria Police Force, Brian Knief is our Military Hero of the Month. If you know a veteran and want to share their story, go to crossroadstoday.com/militaryhero. I'm Maclovio Perez, 25 News Now.
Thanksgiving Day may be an American holiday, but it has international implications. Veteran journalist Bill Clough explains.
At Thanksgiving, the homing instinct rules supreme, going through those woods and over that river. Thanksgiving is at the intersection of two journeys, our trip to the table and the path from grain to harvest. Odd, isn't it, how little attention we pay to the roads that take us there? Our land is laced with highways, but it was Frost who memorialized that path less traveled by, and the difference it makes to take it. It is the detour, the unpaved path that promises the unexpected, the adventure, the route to those stories we tell around the dinner table. The bread on the table has its own path that the late Jacob Bronowski, in his book The Ascent of Man, says began in Jericho. The ability to grow and store grain, he says, forced man away from a nomadic existence to an agrarian society that exists to this day. In today's global view, it's not inappropriate, that a poet who best described the path of each harvest is Yoshiro Ishihara, Japanese. Yet his words apply for any field, of any grain, in any language.
Bill, thank you. And here are some of the top headlines in the Victoria Advocate this week. A look at the true meaning of Thanksgiving. And Victoria College students traveled through time with a turkey shoot. You can read those stories and more at victoriaadvocate.com or pick up a copy at a store near you. It's a day to gather around the dinner table, but if your Thanksgiving meal is not properly prepared, your feast could make you sick. Experts say foodborne illnesses tend to spike during big holiday gatherings as people make foods they're not used to cooking. In today's Health Minute, more on a new tool that can help you make sure your turkey day stays safe.
It's a holiday focused on food, but as you prepare that turkey and other Thanksgiving dishes, make sure you're keeping your feast safe.
Each year, we have 3,000 deaths from foodborne illness alone and another 128,000 hospitalizations.
Kenneth King with the USDA says food can quickly turn dangerous, but 4 tips can help. First, clean. Keep hands germ-free by washing them before, during, and after cooking. Second, separate to avoid cross-contamination. Keep raw meat and poultry from other foods and utensils.
One way to do this is by using separate cutting boards. One cutting board for your raw meat and another one for your fruits and vegetables.
Third, cook. Use a food thermometer to make sure your turkey is cooked to 165 degrees and check 3 areas of the bird for that temperature before serving it.
Those are the thickest part of the breast, innermost part of the wing, and the innermost part of the thigh.
To help ensure meat is properly cooked, the USDA has also unveiled its turkey calculator to help determine how long to cook and thaw your turkey based on its size. And finally, after you're done eating, make sure you chill. Perishable food shouldn't sit out at room temperature for more than 2 hours. For Health Minute, I'm Mandy Gaither.
Well, the clouds are in. It feels like the holidays now, doesn't it? Nice and cool out there. Everybody huddled up inside. It's 59 degrees right now. The wind is still out of the north and still rather breezy like it was this morning. We only managed to get up to 67, right on the money, because we're supposed to be that kind of cool this time of year. Didn't get any rain so far, but I'm expecting rain over the next few days. We'll be talking about that coming up in a moment. Welcome back, everybody. Right on time. It feels like the holidays now, doesn't it? It's a little bit better. That's cute. I mean, we've got the cloud cover. We got that north wind came in overnight, and all of a sudden we dropped the temperature 20 degrees from yesterday. That's pretty fun. There you see the north wind. When you see it here in color, obviously the yellows are faster, the reds are faster, the greens are not as fast, and the blues are less than 10 miles an hour. So this very interesting map here, because you can see how the wind is blowing over land, And then when it hits the water and it has no more friction, no more buildings, no more trees, it speeds up. Yeah, you can tell right there. So it's interesting how that works out. There were a few little sprinkles in North Texas. You can see them right about here going across the Fort Worth area, but they're moving eastbound, and that's good because now we're looking at the cold temperatures coming in tonight. The big storm in the East Coast finally is moving offshore. It was not that big a snowmaker, so they're getting a little bit of a break right here for about 2-3 days in the east if you happen to be traveling in that direction. The West Coast, Northwest is doing well. They're actually fairly quiet. Southwest is going to be interesting. It may be quiet in LA right now, but look at that. Big storm down lower latitudes. That's going to be running into the West Coast, then into our area. That's the one that's going to bring us quite a bit of that moisture and rain into our area. Now tonight, this is for tonight, the freeze warnings are up all the way to Dallas, all the way down to the hill country. That's Junction right about there. So all the way down to I-10, all of those counties will be looking at freeze 30, 32, somewhere down there. You can see right about there, 31 in Midland. For us, we'll get down into the 40s. So yeah, it'll be a little on the chilly side. Tomorrow's high temperatures, because of the cloud cover being fairly prevalent all day long, will stay in the mid 60s pretty much all day long. Now, when does the rain get here? It's going to get here on Sunday. And I just wanted to show you one more early morning low. This is Saturday morning, sunrise. You can see we're still in the 40s, but the cold weather has moved up. So on Saturday, they're in better situation in the North Texas area. Temperatures will be above freezing. All right, we start with our long-term map here. Now it's in mode that is going to show us just the precipitation. So we're going to be overcast, but no rain on Friday. We're going to be overcast again on Saturday, but no rain on Saturday. We're going to be overcast, but all of a sudden that rain down south along the Texas coast will start joining with that storm that's coming at us from the southwest, and then all of a sudden there's rain all over the place. This is going to be mostly Sunday, Monday, and Tuesday, decreasing on Wednesday. So it's kind of a long-term pattern that's going to give us not significant rainfall, not drought-ending rainfall, but kind of that sloppy winter stuff. So just get ready for that, because that's going to be here beginning on Sunday night. You'll need some sort of rain jacket. So tonight, getting down into the 40s. Tomorrow's high, only 64 in Port Lavaca. Those of you in Cuero, well, you're going shopping, I guess. It'll be 64. Northeast winds will still be on the gusty side. And your 7-day forecast looks something like this. Breezy and cloudy on Friday. Cloudy and still cool on Saturday. Sunday night front. Monday, the rain begins. So does Tuesday, Wednesday, and a little bit of Thursday with the damp weather coming into South Texas. That's your 7-day forecast, reminding everybody we do have a QR code. Love for you to scan that. Put Crossroads a Day on your phone. Don, back to you.
Mac, thank you. And coming up next on 25 News Now at 5, we'll take a look at business news, plus some tips to avoid debt as you shop for Black Friday. No stocks today because it is Thanksgiving, but millions flew the friendly skies to make it to Grandma's house for Thanksgiving. The Transportation Security Administration, TSA, says it screened more than 2.7 million passengers on Wednesday. That is roughly 15,000 fewer travelers compared to the Wednesday before Thanksgiving last year. Travelers will need to pack their patience on Sunday when more than 3 million passengers are expected to make their journeys home. Shoppers are adding more debt this Black Friday. Nearly half still have not paid off last year's holiday debt, and a third owe at least $5,000. Despite this, spending is not slowing. Over half plan to use cards for gifts. To avoid debt, wait 24 hours before making a purchase, take a break from social media to avoid impulse buys, and delete saved cards to make shopping less convenient. Most importantly, set a budget and stick to it. Stay with us. We'll take one last look at your forecast, plus how frozen turkeys are taking flight in Alaska.
ABC's David Muir, the most watched newscast in America. More Americans watch ABC's World News Tonight with David Muir than any other newscast.
There was a sitcom in the 1970s called WKRP in Cincinnati. On one of their shows, they dropped turkeys from a plane for Thanksgiving, and the general manager of the radio station said, quote, "As God is my witness, I thought turkeys could fly." Well, an Alaska woman is doing something similar, and these turkeys don't fly either. They're frozen. Each year, Esther Sanderlin loads up her small plane with turkeys for her neighbors in remote areas of Alaska. This year, she's dropping 30 to 40 birds. Esther says she hopes to turn this mission into a nonprofit. A lot of people don't understand that in those parts of Alaska, not in all parts, but some, a lot of these homes don't have driveways, and the only way they can get from home to work is by plane.
Yep.
Because when we made our trip to Alaska 5 years ago, there were a lot of planes, small planes around the Fairbanks airport. That's how they could get home.
Can you imagine trying to snowplow all those roadways? They can't get to it, and then it falls again. So yeah, the airplane is the way they get around.
Yeah.
Well, we're not going to need that. You know, we're going to be okay. We're going to be cool, and we're going to be damp as we start into Sunday. But temperatures all of a sudden are feeling like it is November. We'll be in the 60s all the weekend long, and early next week is when we start sloppy rain around here. I call it sloppy because it's going to be pretty widespread and light and sloppy.
All right. Thank you, Mac. Thanks for being here. We'll see you back here for 25 News Now at 6. World News Tonight with David Muir is next.